We're going to wait a few more minutes just to see if anyone else wants to jump on.
We have a lot to talk about today, so let's just go ahead and start. Claire and Chloe, do you want to go ahead and start us off?
Yeah, okay. So we can go around and say our name and our grade. So I'm Claire and I'm in 7th grade. I'm Chloe and I'm in 9th grade. Okay, Grace.
I'm Grace and I'm in 11th grade.
And Bella and Abby.
I'm Abigail and I'm in 5th grade.
Bella, I'm in 8th grade.
And Mira.
I'm Mira and I'm in 7th grade.
Thank you. And Emma.
I'm Emma Carpenter and I'm in 10th grade.
Thank you. And Chloe.
I'm Chloe and I'm in 10th grade.
Okay. And so today, in just a second, we're going to be doing our icebreaker, and then we're going to share our updates. So for our icebreaker, we're going to be doing something with this bag of stickers. Yeah, everyone go and get your stickers. This is what they look like. Okay, does everyone have their stickers? Okay, so you're going to pick one and you have to write a story about it. And it's all of them. So take all the stickers you have and we're going to spend 5 minutes writing a story featuring every sticker we have in this bag. So every sticker in here, we have to write a story about it. And we have 5 minutes to do that. So you can go ahead and start. I'll give everyone about 3 more minutes. Okay, let's go ahead and finish up. Would anyone like to share? Does no one want to?
I'm almost done. Give me like 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if you'll just give me a moment, I'll finish up.
Okay, yeah, I'll give everyone 2 more minutes.
We were only supposed to make a story about one, right?
Yeah, it came.
I guess I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. I went with this mermaid thing. Yeah, this mermaid. So it's a story. There once was a mermaid more fair than any human could ever hope to be. Her hair was the deepest of purples, reminding one of the brightest violets. Her tail sparkled the very rainbow, but what every sailor could remember of her was her voice. Her voice was as soft as silk, but as strong as the crashing waves. She commanded the violent oceans with her voice. She took it as her sworn duty to protect every life within the oceans from humans. Eventually, she grew older and frailer, so she fled to one part of the ocean, hoping to be left alone. But every now and then, an unfortunate sailor would come upon her wrath and meet an untimely end. As years went by, we gave her home a name, the Bermuda Triangle. And that was it. That's all as far as I got.
Oh, that's good. Grace, do you want to go?
Sure, mine's a bit more girly. So Aiden, I totally apologize if this makes you uncomfortable. I had a pretty weird assortment of stickers and I somehow put all of them in there. Once upon a time, there was a basketball player. She was renowned throughout the land for her jumping skills. One day, she lost her magical bra. This bra was the bra that helped her jump so high. A note was left in her bag. To find your special bra again, you must first travel to the land of the poppies, defeat the god's traps, and fight the magical animal. Good luck. The basketball player found the land of the poppies. The poppies made her sleepy, but the rage of losing her favorite bra kept her strength up. The first of the god's traps was a lobster. Not just any lobster, but a lobster with the power of the stars. The basketball player had brought poppies along with her and sent the lobster to sleep. The second trap was a stone monolith filled with flowers in the shape of a maze. The basketball player couldn't find her way out. She had once heard if you climbed your way to the top, you could find your way out. So she did, and the second trap of the gods was defeated. Now it was time for the magical animal. It was an elephant. The basketball player could see her bra behind the elephant. How would she ever get past it? An idea popped into her head. She dropped into a crouch and began to squeak. The elephant ran away and the basketball player rescued her bra.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Emma, do you want to go ahead and start talking about our SADD updates?
Yes, just a minute. Let me open my phone. We got an announcement from Rick Burt, the CEO of SADD. He was kind of telling us a little bit about SADD Nation during the election. So I was going to go ahead and read you guys what he sent out to SLC and SADD. Today will be a historic day for our country. No matter the outcome, it will also be a day of great anxiety, great for millions of youth as they watch our country wrestle with the results or lack thereof. SADD wants to continue to be a safe place where young people can find support, red or blue, win or lose. We'll be sharing a great deal of content over the next few days from SADD and text Let's Live More to help us comb through this stress, find unity, and move forward together. I authored an OPED with some ideas for parents on how to talk with their teens this evening as the results come in and how to handle the unknown of the next few days. You'll see this go live on SADD Nation social media at 10 a.m. Please feel free to share across your channels. I know the unity of our nation will be tested, but I am so proud of the United of SADD Nation and our unwavering commitment to be a safe place for youth. May God bless America. All the best, Rick. This was sent out yesterday, so some of it's out of context at this point, but I felt like this was something I could share with you guys real quick. We will also be getting some review from the groups that we split up into. Grace, do you want to talk about what your group's been doing?
Sure. So ours was supposed to be for October for Anti-Bullying Month, but everyone's schedules were so crazy, we haven't had a time to meet up and actually film what we're doing. We're doing 2 different skits about bullying. So yeah, we haven't actually had time to get together and actually film, but hopefully we will be able to do that just belatedly.
I know you guys were also talking about making a comic. Is that still going on, or have you decided not to do that?
I think we decided not to do that. Everyone in our group liked one of 3 things: writing, acting, or drawing. So we just decided to go with the acting part of it. And several of our group are do makeup, so I figured that would be a really good use of our skills.
Mhm. Well, I can't wait to see that. Are you planning on competing in the contest coming up for roundabouts?
I think so. I'm not sure yet.
Remember, you don't actually have to do the skit. You can just video yourself, like explaining what you do. Yeah. Claire and Chloe, were you in charge of a group?
No, Kenna was in charge of the group, but she's not here right now.
Do you want to tell us about what your group was doing though?
We haven't
since
gotten a
McKenna's
chance
not
to
here?
do it yet.
Okay.
We've been doing things with beta.
Mm. That's good. Okay. So for the fundraiser we're doing, remember it will be the day after Thanksgiving. So we'll be running and fundraising throughout the whole day. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Has anyone submitted any videos for the roundabout competition? Yeah. Has anyone like started writing a script or anything? Okay, well, remember, this is a great opportunity. So go ahead and start writing scripts and other stuff. Like for SLC, I have to make 5 video clips every month. So if you guys want to aim for that too, that would be great. Because remember, this is possibly $2,500 that you're winning. And all you have to do is be a registered SADD member. If you're not entering because you're too young, like Jillian said, you can partner with an older person so that they can video your idea and then you can split it, or the younger person could get it if they wrote it all or something like that. Grace, do you have any updates from Tennessee SADD?
It is Drowsy Driving Awareness Week, I think. So they have some events going on. I'm not entirely sure. My schedule's been absolutely crazy, but yeah, do go follow SADD Tennessee and SADD Nation on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you have. They always have like some really good stuff coming up.
Okay. Chloe, I know you wanted to tell us a little bit more about your action plan and what you'll be doing in the future. Would you like to go ahead and tell us a little bit about that if you're there?
Yes. So for my project, I'm going to be going to an animal shelter in Elizabethton, and I have to call them this week, so I'll figure out a date and what exactly I'm going to be doing. But we're basically just going to have an adoption day, kind of get them somewhat dressed up and like more clean, so they'd be more likely to get adopted. I want to do it probably soon after Thanksgiving, one of those weekends, just because I have noticed a lot of people adopt pets for the holidays. So I'm going to do it around then. I'm in Girl Scouts, so my troop is going to help me with that, so they can also get a badge and award for them and for me personally. If anyone would like to help, they can either come down and help me, or you can go on Facebook or whatever social media and just help get the word out if that's all you can do. I can put my phone number in the chat, so if anyone wants to contact me and let me know, that's it. I will have details hopefully by the end of this weekend.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see how that goes, and I hope that I can go. Don't know about you guys. Would any of you be interested in going to this or have any questions for her? Okay, Chloe, if you just want to leave your number, we'll make sure to save it and see if we can go. Whenever you get more details, we'd love if you could come back, like whenever you get those details, to tell us. See, like everyone's really excited, would love to go, but we need to know the date to make sure that we can go.
I'd say if you're going, Emma, then I would go too.
But yeah, we'll definitely make sure that next week, if we have more people, to tell them about your events and see if they would like to go as well. But it looks like you already have several people who would love to go. Thank you. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to do, update-wise, you think? We
No,
do have someone coming at 12. Okay. We do have someone coming at 12:30 to present their workshop. So we gotta stay for that. Oh, let me just thank everyone who came for trick-or-treating for the masquerade ball theme. That went pretty well, except again, we did run out of candy. So we ended up handing out water. And that was also fun. So thank you everyone who was able to come for that. I know it kind of got hectic near the end, but we made it through, so yay. We were also discussing what we're going to be doing for Christmas. I know we were kind of talking about some costume ideas for the parade and also kind of what we'll be doing for our Christmas party. Last we discussed, we were thinking for our Christmas party to go ahead and do a murder mystery. Is everyone still cool with that? So we'll have to start searching for a murder mystery. I might actually get to be in charge of it then. You know that, right, Jillian? Okay, so what were you guys thinking for a theme for our float? So what was, it was like a Christmas village was the theme, right? I think. But yes, thank you, Chloe. We can't wait to see when the date will be and see if we can come. Okay.
I remember last year we did elves. We were all elves, and I remember that was really fun. So we could do something similar to that again.
One thing, I wasn't my ballet company and I were in a Christmas parade in Edmonton, and we dressed up as like our Nutcracker characters. And Nutcracker is like such a Christmas story. It might be fun to do something like that, or like a Christmas Carol or something.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I like that.
So like what you were thinking is maybe we'll have a Christmas tree with some presents underneath, and then like someone be a nutcracker, another the ballerina and the mice and stuff like that. Is what you were thinking?
Yeah, well, like the characters are like the Nutcracker, Drosselmeyer, the mom, the dad, Fritz, the brother, and then there's like all the different candies in the world. So like there's a lot of opportunities. So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Does anyone else have any other ideas? We'll probably discuss this more in the future since we are still a little bit far away from Christmas. But I can't believe we're already like thinking about Christmas. It seems like it was just yesterday. It was the beginning of spring or something. So if you guys can just wait, I think 5 minutes, unless anyone else has anything to say, we will get the workshop in about 5 minutes. So sorry, I just remembered another update from SLC. So on Thanksgiving, we're doing something called a cold turkey. So for the whole day of Thanksgiving, if you can, it's like unplugging from your phone. So for the whole day, you're gonna unplug, whether that to be to spend time with family or to catch up on homework or activities that you like to do. It's just like a whole day of unplugging. And I really like this idea. SADD Nation will be playing, I think, the day before, all about like we videoed ourselves saying they will unplug, so those will be playing on roll the whole day. So keep a lookout for that on SADD Nation, and make sure that you're liking the other SADD groups like SADD Tennessee, SADD Alabama, those groups. Has anyone liked any of those pages yet? Well, if later today you could go and start liking the SADD state things, they always have great notifications and stuff. So there's like SADD New York, SADD Alabama, SADD Tennessee. Make sure you go on there and like their pages. That way you're getting notifications or more notifications from SADD Nation and can participate in like last minute events. Excuse me, Day, you can go ahead and start if you're here to give us the workshop today. We went ahead and wrapped up a bit of what we were doing before.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. How is everyone today? So give me an idea about what ages you all are. Is there an age range?
I believe that for the SADD group, it's 6 through 12.
Okay, awesome.
Right.
Awesome. That's kind of what I thought looking at your pictures. Let me turn my video on. Okay, my name is Donna Day, and I'm the Disaster Program Manager with the American Red Cross, and I'm going to talk to y'all today a little bit about preparedness and about a thing we have called the Pillowcase Project, and just give you a little bit of information about that and ask you a few questions and see what all you know about preparedness. So we're going to start talking about the Pillowcase Project first. The Pillowcase Project was started back during Hurricane Katrina when we had a massive hurricane came through, and a bunch of college students who were in one of the colleges in Louisiana put all of their stuff that they were going to take to the shelter with them and put it in a pillowcase. And they took it to the shelter. So this all got started because of some college kids. And so what they did was they put things in there that they thought they would need there. And so we're going to talk about some of that too, so that if you want to do a preparedness kit or something that you can put those in a pillowcase, you can put it in a Rubbermaid container at home, just whatever you might like to do with that. So For an example, a couple of things would be like flashlights. Maybe if you have a favorite stuffed animal or something like that, or a favorite blanket that you like to sleep with, that you could put that in your pillowcase as well. Snacks, if there's a special snack that you like, you can put things in there like your phone charger. You can put in like card games so that you have something to do that does not require electricity, board games, anything like that that would make you feel very comfortable in a shelter. And so that's kind of how that works with the pillowcases. And you can put any number of things, just whatever works best for you. One of the things too is that it's really important that we talk to our families about getting them prepared for disasters as well. Because for an example, well, we're going to talk to a lot about home fires today because that is our #1 disaster in the United States. Here in Northeast Tennessee, we cover 14 counties and we average almost a house fire every single day in one of those 14 counties. So that's almost 365 house fires. And we have volunteers all over that go to those fires and help the clients. And we'll talk a little bit about what all we do when we go to a fire as well. But like I said, getting your family prepared, one of the best things that you can do is to have an emergency plan with your family. And I'll give you an example. I live here in Tennessee, but my parents live in North Carolina. So I've always been told that if something happens, like my children are grown and they're in different parts of Tennessee, but if something happens, sometimes you can't call locally, but you can make a long distance call. So my parents in North Carolina are our go-to people that I tell all my kids, check in with your grandparents, okay? And then that way we can find out where everybody is, because it would be a miracle if we were all in the same place if there was a disaster. And some disasters you get a warning about. For an example, if we lived on the coast, you get a lot of warning about a hurricane coming. Some disasters we don't. Earthquakes and tornadoes, we don't get any warning at all. And those are the two main hazards that affect the state of Tennessee, are earthquakes and tornadoes. And we haven't had a big earthquake in a long time, and we don't really think about earthquakes very much on our part of Tennessee. But it is very a prominent thing that could possibly happen down in the Memphis area, which would eventually affect all of us up here too as well. We would definitely feel it. And then we would probably try to be getting help down there to help our fellow Tennesseans who live on the other part of the state. So we call those no notice and notice events. And so we focus a lot on the no notice events because those are the ones we need to get ready for. And a house fire is a no notice event. We do a lot of preparedness activities too with the Red Cross. One of the things that we do, and we can't do it right now because of COVID, but we put free smoke alarms in people's homes. So we go and we put the alarms up, and we actually do a little bit of education with them and talk to them about how they can, ways they can get out of their home. We talk to them about fire safety, because if we can try to prevent the fires, and we also need to, especially children that are younger than y'all, it takes you got to teach them what to do when the fire alarm goes off. And one of the things that we really talk about is to have a meeting place. And for an example, my family's meeting place is our mailbox. So if we hear the smoke alarms go off in our house, we immediately everybody goes to the mailbox. And that way we know that everybody's out of the house. If some of us went in the front yard and some of us went in the backyard, we may have the fire department in there looking for people that are already out. And so that's why we have that. And your meeting place can be anywhere. I had a little girl one time tell me that her meeting place was their chicken coop in their backyard. Okay, that is perfectly fine. I had one little boy tell me that they met at their trampoline, and his sister was in his class, and she hit him on the back of the head and said, "That's my brother. We ain't got no trampoline." So I told them to meet wherever they'd like to have a trampoline if they had one. So that it doesn't have to be a mailbox. That's just an easy place. No matter, my family, we've moved several times, and that's one thing we've always had a mailbox. And we haven't always had an oak tree, or we haven't always had a trampoline, but we've always had the mailbox. So that's why we do that as well. One of the things about home fires that's very important is that you have 2 minutes to get out. That's it. Okay. So you got to get yourself out. If you have some stuff like in your pillowcase or somewhere that you've got it ready to go, you don't need to grab that. Okay. You just need to get out of the house. 2 minutes is it. I actually saw a demonstration on TV one time, and they took a living room from the 1950s, and then they took one from 2019, I think is when it was, and they lit a pillow on the couch in both of those living rooms. And I would have thought that the 1950 living room would go up, poof, but it did not. The 2019 living room went up probably 10 minutes faster than the one from the 1950s. And they said it was because back then things were made, they weren't made out of synthetics, and the synthetic stuff that we use now burns a lot faster. So it's very important that you know how to get out. Look at your bedroom, look at every room in your house, and there should be 2 ways out. And it doesn't have to be doors. Okay. It could be, it could be windows. Okay. You just need to make sure you have 2 ways out of your house at every time. And so that's really important too. And like what we talked about before, home fires are probably our most common thing that we deal with in the whole United States. We've had a horrible hurricane season this year. There's 2 more possibilities that could be headed to the Florida coast. So we are not out of the woods yet. Thankfully, we don't get the brunt of the hurricanes mostly, but we do get sometimes a lot of rains and downpours from those, which causes flooding in our area. We have certain areas that flood much faster and quicker than other areas. And so I'm sure you've heard the expression, turn around, don't drown, which is very important for floods. And for floods and tornadoes, we have different categories they call watches and warnings. And when you hear a tornado watch or a flood watch, basically they're just saying that the conditions are favorable, that it could happen. When there's a tornado warning or a flood warning, that means that it's here. Okay, they've seen the tornado on the radar, it's touched ground, or they know that the flooding is going to happen. And so it's really important to know the difference between watches and warnings, and also know where you would go in your home if you had a tornado. I built a new house a couple of years ago, and I wanted one with an open floor plan, which basically means that I don't have very many walls in my house, so which makes it a little harder to find somewhere to go if there's a tornado warning in our area. We do have a place that, because I don't want you to have any outside walls. And so we do have a small bathroom that is our place that we're going to go to. We don't have a basement. So you can find a safe place in your home, even if you don't have a basement for tornadoes. And so this is a really good thing to talk to your family about. Have a fire drill, practice, what you would do if all of a sudden your smoke alarms went off, or do you even have smoke alarms, and have they been tested? Go in there and test them, push the little button. One thing that I learned that I did not know about smoke alarms until about 5 years ago is after about 10 years, the smoke alarms, the sensor in them goes bad. So if your smoke alarms are really old, you can put a battery in them and they'll beep all day long, but chances are that the sensor may not work to detect the smoke. And so you can take the smoke alarm off and look on the back, and it'll tell you the date it was manufactured. And so that'll give you a really good idea of how old your smoke alarm is. And so it's really important. And then there's the things too about, grease fires, making sure that, you don't throw water on them, and that you don't leave it unattended to start with. And there's all kinds of things, but some house fires happen not because of something that we've done wrong. It could be faulty wiring. We had one time that the neighbors were shooting fireworks, and it landed on the roof and caught the house on fire. So that was not their fault. But it's just very important that we know what to do when we do have a fire. And I'm sure y'all are the age where you probably crawled through the smoke houses that they brought to the schools, and you probably done a lot of that. So just remember to stay low like that and to get out as fast as you possibly can. So like I said, a lot of preparedness is common sense, but unfortunately in this day and age, sometimes we don't have a lot of that, or we panic. And so one of the things that we teach the younger kids to do is we teach people to breathe in colors. And one of the things that, and I have found that it works really well with adults too, but if you're panicked and you've got to get yourself together to be able to take care of the situation or whatever it is, they tell you to pick your favorite color and breathe that in, and that's your good thoughts that you're breathing in. And then if you pick a color that you probably like the least, or is just really not your favorite color, then you blow that color out. So it's like you're breathing in the good thoughts and you're breathing out the bad thoughts. And so that is a great way to calm yourself down. And if you try it, it actually does work. And it does not have to be for a disaster situation either. Sometimes if your sibling makes you really mad and all you want to do is hit them, breathe the color in, breathe it out, and it just really helps you calm down. And it does help. And it's like I said, it's great to teach your parents how to do that as well. Because if there's a disaster situation, somebody or everybody needs to be calm. And then it just makes things work so much better that way. One thing too that we like to tell adults, and some of y'all are very close to being adults if you're not already, is to, and I am really bad about this, is I hardly ever have cash. I use my debit card for everything, okay? But if the power's out, then the debit card machines are not going to work. The ATM machine to get money out is not going to work. And so cash is going to be the commodity, okay, that everybody's going to want. They may let you into Walmart, but you're going to have to use cash. And so it's a good idea to have 20 bucks or something around to make sure that, you have that just in case you need it. When I was in North Carolina when Hurricane Hugo came through, and this was way before cell phones. Our home phones didn't work. We had to go stand in line at payphones. I realized that electric can openers don't work. You couldn't find a manual can opener anywhere because everybody was saying, oh, my electric can opener is not working. And so now I have a manual can opener just in case. I couldn't feed my dogs. I couldn't get the dog's food open. We had to take a screwdriver and a hammer and beat on the can to get the food out so we could feed the dog. And so we learned a lot from that. And so that's one of the best things to do, is to learn from other people's experiences, how they have dealt with disaster situations. Like I said, and it's also very important to have somewhere that you have emergency phone numbers, so that and this could go in your pillowcase, it could go in whatever container that you might like to use at home. What's the number for the power company for your house, your cable provider, if you need to cut your cable off, and just important numbers like that, important numbers for all your family members. Because if some people don't memorize phone numbers anymore, so if your cell phone is dead or you can't use it, or you need to have these written down somewhere so that you don't have to remember them, because you may not have access to your phone, or the cell service may be gone. For an example, the Gatlinburg wildfires that we had a few years ago, the cell towers went out in Gatlinburg. So for probably 2 or 3 days, there was no cell service at all. So it's very important to have those numbers written down somewhere so that you know where you can get them. And it could be in your pocketbook, it could be in your wallet, just so that you fold it up in a little piece of paper somewhere that you always have with you. So that's very important all the time. And so does anybody have any questions so far? I know I'm telling y'all stuff that you've heard a million times in school. I bet you hadn't heard about the breathing in colors yet, though. So a little bit more about house fires. We talked about the smoke alarms. They are very important. If you do not have smoke alarms in your home, or you think they're old, if you will let Jillian know, she can let me know, and we'll put you on our list. And as soon as we can get back in people's homes and put up free smoke alarms, we will be more than happy to do that for you. There's no qualifications. You can just tell me you need smoke alarms and you get smoke alarms. So there's no paperwork or anything to go through. Just let me know. We will be more than happy to do that. We've been putting up between 1,000 and 2,000 smoke alarms every year. And so we are really hoping that we get to go do that again really soon, because we're ready to get back into that, because we all like it. It's so much fun. We also have a presentation for kids in first, second, and third kindergarten, first and second grade, called Prepare with Pedro, which is a little penguin, and he talks about being prepared for home fires. And it's a really cute little program. And they all get a little book about Pedro to take home with them so they can read with their parents. But like I said, the emergency contact cards are really easy, just like when you go to school or when you go somewhere else and they want to know who to contact with an emergency, have that with you, okay? If you take, for an example, I take cholesterol medications. So I may want to have that written down somewhere. Or if you have a medical situation, my daughter does not have a spleen. And so she has to wear like a medical alert bracelet, but she also has something like that says that in her pocketbook as well. So when they start looking through to find out who she is or whatever, they can find all of her medical information too. So that's very important, especially for your grandparents who may have more, medical conditions or whatever, that would be good for them to do that. So like I said before, it's a lot of common sense, but sometimes we don't put it all together. One of the things that the FEMA, our Federal Emergency Management Agency, always recommends is that I'm sorry, somebody just came to my door. That we take these precautions, that we get ready, that we have 1 gallon of water per person per day for 3 days. So I'll do a little math here. There's currently 3 people who live in my home, so I would need to have 9 gallons of water. Okay, 1 for each person per day, and this can be used for drinking water. It can be used for cooking. It can be used for a lot of things. And also to have some food for 3 days, and preferably food that doesn't have to be cooked. If your power's off, your electric stove is not going to work, or oven. And so either you cook on the gas grill, or just something that you can just pop the top, like those little cans of fruit or anything like that can be used. If you like potted meat or Spam or any of that stuff, I don't like it, but if I got hungry enough, I'd eat it. So just make sure, and you don't have to have this put anywhere. It can already be in your cabinet, in your cupboard. Right now, if I went and looked in mine, I could probably find 3 days worth of food. May not be what I wanted to eat, but I could probably make do. So it's not anything you have to go out and buy special. If you know something's going to happen, back in when I was your age, my mother would go and fill the bathtub full of water. And that wasn't drinking water, but it could be used like to flush the toilets if you're on a well, because you can't do that. So we used to use it for that. And so that was always really good, because it kept us from using our other water, for that. They could be used for cooking and for drinking. One really funny thing that my mother used to do, and now that I'm grown, I realize it was pretty smart, is she put all of her cash in the freezer. And now that I have been going to house fires and stuff, if you actually look in their homes, the refrigerator is usually not burnt. The insides are usually fine. And so she had put the cash up in the freezer, then that would, if the house burned down, the cash would probably be okay. And I used to always ask her for money, and she'd tell me, go get it out of the freezer. So I think I've decided that's what the word cold hard cash came from. From that, because it was always very cold when I would get money out. So she doesn't do that anymore, and I've been meaning to ask her why she didn't hide her money, put her money in the freezer anymore. I guess it's all in her pocketbook. One thing too that was a great example of when people have house fires in the middle of the night. Let's say it's an electrical fire and they jump up and they run out of their house. A lot of people's feet get cut or burned or whatever because they don't have shoes. And so a friend of mine keeps a pair of flip-flops or sandals beside her bed all the time so that she can put them on and run out. Another friend of mine keeps her pocketbook or her purse beside her bed so that she can pick that up and run too, so that her driver's license and other documents like that won't get burned in the fire. So there's all kinds of little tricks of the trade that people have been doing for a long time. If you have an upstairs room, how are you going to get out the window if you need to? Can you jump on the roof and, on the part of the roof and then jump down? Or do you need one of those ladders that you can throw out of the window? So there's just lots of different things that are available out there. But a lot of it, like I said, is just planning ahead of time. The more you practice it, the more routine it will be. And just remember that the door you always go in and out may not be the right door to go in and out of during a fire. They always tell you to put your hand on the door handle and make sure if it's hot, don't open it. But if it's not, go ahead and get out at the door. If it's hot, then it's time to come out with your second exit. Okay, what's your other way to get out? Very important, because 2 minutes will go by really fast when you're panicking or that situation is happening. And this is also another chance, breathe your colors in. Think about, calm yourself down and get yourself out, which is very important. And there's other disasters sometimes that are man-made. There's a lot of railroad cars that go through our counties around here. There's a lot of trucks that have dangerous chemicals down our interstate. So that could happen and everybody has to be evacuated. They have to be taken out of that area and moved to a church facility or somewhere to stay until the all clear has been given. They may tell you to shelter in place. They may tell you to cut off all your air conditioners and heat, shut your windows and stay home, depending on what the chemical is. So there's some things that we have absolutely no control over. And so that's one of those opportunities when you need to be thinking about what you would take with you. I teach a class for our volunteers who do sheltering. And one of the things I ask them is, if there was one thing that you could take with you to a shelter, what would it be? And most of them, a lot of people would say, like my medications, I would take my pillow. Some people say their pets, but just think about what you would take with you if you went to a shelter. And it's a lot of times with those situations, you have a little bit of time to get some stuff together. So just really think about it. You like right now it's cold at night and I like my fuzzy socks, so maybe I would take those with me. So whatever would make you the most comfortable in the shelter. There'll be food, there'll be water, there'll be that kind of things, but it's just the comforts that you have that you might like to take with you. And so I just want to tell you a little bit about what the Red Cross does when somebody has a fire. We talked a lot about that we respond to one fire, an average of one fire a day in our 14 counties. But one of the things that we do is we give them a client, it's called a client assistance card. And basically it's like a prepaid debit card. And we put money on there for them to be able to get food, clothing, and a place to sleep, a motel or whatever they need, or if they're going to a relative's house. And then we can also provide assistance with replacing their medications. We replace eyeglasses. We've even replaced dentures. We cane, wheelchairs, anything else like that they've lost. We can help them with that. We can also help them with their recovery, as in first month's rent, security deposit. One day I helped somebody with help them get a piano, because that's how she made her living. She was a piano teacher. And so she could not make a living and pay her bills and do all that because her only means of doing that was her piano. So we were able to find a really nice, she paid part of it, but we were able to help her a little bit with it. So that's what we do there. But one of the most important things we do, I think, is that we're there. The fire department is really focused on fighting the fire. And so therefore our job is to focus on the people who lost their home. And we also give them what we call a comfort kit. And this is a lot of people's favorite thing, which kind of cracks me up, but it's got like a toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, all that kind of stuff in it. And so they get that if they're going to the motel or going to grandma's house or wherever they're going. It just gives them, you know, sometimes just being able to brush your teeth is a good thing. And so we follow them through their entire recovery until they are at the point where they don't need us. We also refer them to community organizations. Let's say they need rent and security deposit, and we can pay one, and an organization in Carter County can pay the other one. So we refer them to other agencies. We have disaster spiritual care, disaster mental health volunteers that can talk to them if they're having issues with that. And we also have our nurses who are there, who call them. If someone gets taken to the hospital, we meet them there, and we take care of them as much as we possibly can. Usually in most of our cases, some cases we maybe a week and they're ready to move on. Some cases take a lot longer than that, but we just want to make sure that they're taken care of. And we work with the fire departments and the 911 centers to know when the fires are. We don't sit around monitoring scanners and doing all that. We wait until we hear from there. We also do a lot of things in big disasters. For example, we're talking about the hurricanes. At one point, we had 12,000 people in hotel rooms. In Louisiana, California, Oregon, Colorado. And because of COVID restrictions right now, we are not opening shelters where we put people in gyms. We're using motels if at all possible, just because it's easier to keep people social distance and all that if everybody's in their own hotel room. And normally we would be like in a gym or something, but because of this, we've had to adapt and change. And so we've had a lot of, we still have probably 3,000 to 4,000 people in hotel rooms right now. So there's people that are working with them to try to help them recover, to try to help them be able to get out and to move on and to find permanent housing. We also do disaster assessment, which we go out and we go to a neighborhood and we determine how bad the damage is there. So we know where to send our feeding trucks, because we do feed. Not just in our shelters, we also feed in the community. We also give out supplies like tarps and rakes and shovels and bug spray and sunscreen or whatever is needed out in the neighborhood. There's people who drive forklifts. There's people who just take care of the staff that has come from all over the country to be there to take care of these people. When we had our tornadoes in Nashville and Cookeville, which was in March, of just this year, it seems like it's been longer than that. We had people from all over the United States that were Red Cross volunteers that came here to help us, and to be able to take care of the people in those areas that lost everything. So it's a big production when a big disaster happens. Poor Louisiana's had a big production for a really long time now because of all the hurricanes that keep hitting there. But so there's a lot that goes on, and we also do, of course, blood. A lot of people know us from our blood collections. We also do a lot with the military. We have what we call service to the armed forces. So for an example, if my brother is in the military and one of my parents passes away, then I would go through the Red Cross to ask for him to be able to come home. And so we're that independent verifier. That way I can't say, you know, it's Christmas, I'm going to lie and say my parents died so I can get my brother home for Christmas. What it does is we're the person who actually verifies and makes sure that that is accurate. And then we pass the message along to their commanding officer. It always made me laugh because I've heard people say the Red Cross wouldn't let me come home. But I'm pretty sure that an Army general is not going to listen to the Red Cross about whether or not that person needs to come home. So we just pass the message. And we also do a lot with the VA. and there and the National Guard armories and whatever else needs to happen there. So there's a lot of different things that go on. We teach CPR, first aid, swimming lessons. That's how I first started with the Red Cross. Is I started teaching swimming lessons a long time ago, and ended up in disaster. So, but does anybody have any questions about anything? I'm giving y'all the not third grade version of this. So I'm giving y'all the adult version.
Well, let me just say thank you so much for presenting for us today. I had no idea about that freezer thing. That is really cool. And
Wasn't that
thank you for
interesting?
yeah, it is really interesting. And I didn't know about like burning your feet or anything. So that would be
Mhm.
cool, like to get out of your bed. But also thank you for giving us Pedro the Penguin resource, because we actually hold a yearly kids camp. So we usually present things about drug prevention and smoking prevention and that kind of thing. So I think that's great to add just a little bit of Pedro.
Yeah,
But
let
thank
us
you
know.
so much for,
We will be glad to do that. We also do. We also have a version of this that's for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, which y'all are a little older than that. That has some activities and some things like that we can also do for that age group too, if you're ever interested. It's basically what I just did, but on a much. It's on more of a 3rd grade level. Y'all did not need that. So. But yeah, there's a lot of different activities and stuff. But I thought the freezer thing. Now that I used to make fun of her when I was a kid, but now I think she's pretty smart. So I hadn't told her that yet. I probably won't tell her that. She'll get a big kid. But I thought it was a great idea. So, anything else? Thank y'all very much for letting me come on here and talk to you. And I hope that everyone of you have a great day.
Thank you.
And a great weekend. Woo, it's getting close.
Thank you. Thank you.
And like I said before, with the smoke alarms, if anybody needs them, let me know. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. If you were here for SADD Club, do you have anything else, Emma? Or are they good to go?
I think they're all good to go. I can't wait to see you guys next week. Thank you so much for coming today.
Bye, y'all.